Is it worth playing Etheria Restart once the final version comes out on June 5th or not? We will figure this out in this video. I've been playing with the beta for a while, and this has been quite of a ride. Now, the answer is not gonna be obvious because there are certain personality types who are gonna enjoy this and there are others who are not gonna enjoy this game. I will show you why and what the reasons about it are. So let's see. First of all, this is a futuristic environment. This has not much to do with anything that you're used to in Era of Chaos, Raid Shadow Legends, other turn-based strategies, Diablo and so on. It has nothing to do with it. This is futuristic. And this is where the number one drawback comes. That even though it looks amazing, and it is also very good to play. The issue is that a lot of the names, for example in the events, a lot of the terminology has to be learned. It has to be learned. You have to understand what these animal prototypes are. These are basically shards that in Raid Shadow Legends. Champions are animals. You see, for example, you click animals here. These were the champions in Raid. And you need to see all these pictograms, what these mean, what the different artifacts, so the gearing means. It's very similar to Raid Shadow Legends, but these pictograms have to make sense. Like this one is speed, you see, for example, and there are many others as well. So it's a huge learning curve. Higher or more than in case of Raid. Because in Raid, you know, if you go to the Dragon Dungeon, you farm gear. Easy. Here, you go to some green pursuit or something, you see, and then you don't know what you're farming exactly. So you go to, for example, quest, and it says, yeah, log in once a day, amazing, win in Treasured, win in GP Outpost. What is GP Outpost? And then you see this is GP Outpost. What is Reason? What is Odd? What is Hollow? It's the same rock, paper, scissors that you have in most games, also in Raid Shadow Legends, but it's a bit different here. It's a bit different because it's called Reason. Why is it called Reason? Why is it called Odd? You know. And then you will sooner or later understand that it's basically yet another terminology that you need to learn. I'll put it in continuous battle. I will just earn stability. I'll show you the background battles, for example. So this has to be learned. If you're not open to learning something that is futuristic, this game is not for you. By the way, this is not a sponsored video, so I can just give you my opinion. But on the other hand, there are so many things that are done so much better than in any other games. So much better. So, for example, here you see all the animation. It's very much like an anime. This is the beating circle, so it's opposite as Raid Shadow Legends, so red beats green, and green beats blue, and blue beats red. In Raid it's the other way around mostly. And then you have the void ties, but you have a purple and a yellow, so it's a bit different. And it's also the leveling up, the starring up, it's a bit less painful because you don't have food champions in this stage in the same way as in Raid. So I'll choose some of my heroes, and then you can do auto battles, you can do manual battles. Good news is that you don't have to watch like the 10 battles in total. Because if you just go out from the top right, and I really love this feature, if you just go out, then you can just go back to the main screen, and in the meantime, for example, select gear, like which gear you're gonna sell, what you're gonna do with the rest of the things that you have. If you're changing between good and to be improved, the to be improved is the loading time. You see, just to get back to the menu, this loading time is a bit too much. And this is not a weak computer, so most likely this is gonna be improved in the future. Meanwhile, the battles are going on. In quests, you see that there are quite a few. I really like the fact that you don't have to complete all the quests, you just need to complete any 12 of the daily daily quests. And once you've completed one type of quest, then another appears. So altogether you have a limit of 12, and you can choose to fight a lot. You can also choose to just, let's say, level the champions up in some ways. So that's really positive. There is a natural learning curve. So you need to understand that stability is energy, hydro crystal is gems, silver is silver, and raid or gold in Era of Chaos. So you see all these things. A really positive feature of this game is that progression is a lot less linear than in Era of Chaos. You know, in Era of Chaos what happens is that you have a certain combination of heroes. For example, here is an Era of Chaos window. You have a certain combination of heroes, and if you have them, you basically beat everyone. So let's see, for example, there are 5 heroes that I would really want to get. This is one, this is another one, this is another one, and maybe Shin. And Gerwolf is here, that's the newest hero. So obviously you know where to put this. So if you have these heroes, none of the content is locked from you. Same thing with the units. If you have the latest shiny units, for example, this one, this stage, nothing is blocked from you. This game, so Etheria Restart, just like in case of Raid Shadow Legends, focuses on PvE a lot better, player versus environment. Because there are different types of contents. And you go to challenge, for example. In that content, you see that you have like tutorial, fine. Just skip the tutorial. So you have Green Pursuit, Threshold, Investigation, GP Outpost. These are the dungeons or regular stages that you farm. And at least they drop shells, they drop modules, they drop XP, so this is good for XP. It's amazing that they added this previously, I didn't see this. So at least people know what the terminology stands for. So my constructive criticism is being addressed as we say, as we move forward. So you go to Green Pursuit, for example, and then you see the different stages. It's like farming. Different types of opponents, so Jacques, Shadowrunner, Apate, Kururu, and so on, require different combinations of champions, or anima to be exact, because here it's animus. Or anima is the plural most likely, or animuses, who knows. So you need different types of combinations of anima to beat a certain boss. So it's not anymore about getting a few selected units and then you're gonna plow through everything. That's a linear progression, that's Era of Chaos. Here you're branching off in different areas of the game. And you cannot neglect any of them, because ultimately you need all the resources that you have. With this, you see that Green Pursuit, you need certain teams. For Threshold, for the module drop, you need other types of teams. This means that you always have to work on something in the account. I would compare this to the Raid Shadow Legends experience. So here is Raid Shadow Legends, it has been running in the background, I was farming some dungeon. And there you see that different dungeons require different champions, and the progression is so much different. It's so much different, because I have like 4, 8, 12, 15 units maxed out. A 16th is already 6-star, 17th, 18th, 18th, I have 18 6-star units in total, right? Plus there are 2 units waiting to be summoned, but I will summon them at the optimal place. You see, this is a fragment, this is a fragment. And I still have problem with certain game modes to progress, including Fire and Ice Castle, because I don't have a good enough team at the moment with good enough gear, good enough everything. You can expect the same type of experience in Etheria Restart, that you need to think. It's not just enough to buy the latest shiny thing, you need to think to move forward. Then the next thing is meta chasing. I strongly believe that once you start playing Etheria Restart, whatever you collect, whatever you spend on, may be close to irrelevant in a matter of 1 year, 2 years. Because then other more powerful animuses or anima or other more powerful gear, other more powerful other things will be introduced to the game. So this is not necessarily a spending spree, but you still need to have a variety of champions. And this is why I'm not really seeing the level of understanding towards rerolling. Because why would I reroll if in a matter of 1 year I would get all the champions anyway? Here I can just refer to Era of Chaos. So this is a relatively new account. Look at this. I go to the barracks. And these basic units, I mean, I have all of these. I have most of these, and it's just 8 weeks old, you see. Okay, I even forgot to get the Bone Dragon. You see, it's just an 8 weeks old account, and I already have a variety of simple units. And back in the days, when this game started, these SSR units were the absolute best. Now they are not that good anymore, and in fact I can collect them in a matter of 8 weeks or so. The same thing will happen to Etheria Restart content one day. So if you want to have a fresh start and want to climb to the top of the arena, obviously you need to invest, and you won't be able to keep up with whales initially. But in the long run, as those whales ignore some of the discipline that a free-to-play player would show, eventually you will catch up. And as far as I saw, this game is not only free-to-play friendly, but it's so friendly towards free-to-play players that in the first few days it will take hours and hours and hours just to deplete your stamina. Okay, this is just a demo, it's not the same experience as the real deal, but I haven't ever managed to spend all the 10 times stamina purchases because I didn't have enough time to get to know the game better. I mean, why would I apply 110% discipline if my progress is gonna be erased anyway? So that's still something I need to try out later. Another interesting thing about the game, positive thing, is that there is a story. The story is great. I showed you the first few chapters, I think chapter 1, chapter 2. The story itself is better written than some of the other types of games. It introduces you to fusions, it introduces you to other things. Drawback is that it's Japanese or Chinese are currently, so a dubbing would help. Sooner or later this will go away, but dubbing would help at the moment. And the other drawback is that there are some conversations in there, and in those conversations, when you can select from 2 possible answers, both answers mean exactly the same. So what's the point of the conversation, and what's the point of clicking it? Also, when you move in the map, you just move and you know where to go all the time. The only thing is that you need to use your radar to locate those 5 chests or 7 chests to complete the missions. But the story is highly linear, and it's very easy as well to go through. So this is very much like Era of Chaos type of story, where, you know, you go to the world, whichever chapter is unlocked. At the moment this chapter just got unlocked for me on this account, you see, and then I battle. And this is the experience. I haven't even had time to set backup or set these or set anything that would make my account stronger. In fact, my strongest units are not even here. I haven't even placed them in. Now I am. So let's swap these and let's move this unit here. It doesn't matter, because what is my experience in campaign? I press battle. I have to watch the whole battle. And there you have to watch the whole battle as well with animations and everything. 5 seconds and I'm done. Okay, that's the experience. Same thing here. So you go through the levels, it's just some sort of a tutorial with a story. It's basically, it's worth pushing it as far as possible. But it's not like in Raid Shadow Legends that you go back and farm it. Because in Raid, you know, you go to campaign, battle, stage 12-3 for example, because there are like 12 stages in total, and you have like normal, hard, brutal and nightmare, right? And we tend to farm brutal 12-3 with either with super raid or with normal. So I press start and then I farm. you know, loading times are a bit faster, by the way, so I would recommend the Etheria team to reduce the loading times as well, just a bit. So you see, this is like farming, right? You don't do any of this. But if there is a weakness of Raid Shadow Legends, it's the story. The story is very shallow, you just have to read it, or there is some minimal, like, hand-drawn and narrated chapters. But people are still fine with it, so people still play it without a problem. So altogether, story is well written. This setting is amazing. If you don't like this menu system, then you can also know that, oh, you go investigation, then let's go to the clues. See, and then there is the Vanished Beacon, 4 collection progress, and truth playback. You see, and it's, you want to summon, you go here. You want to do stages, you go here to the dental chair. Where is it? It's not a dental chair actually. It's called Etherlig, and that's why you need stability. You sit in, and then what do you want to do? Main quest. You want to do challenge, union stuff, or arena. And you go here. You can reach the same thing via menu. Most likely I use the menu. That's what I figured out. How much are things gate capped? Now, according to my opinion, the first buy bonus is usually where it matters. So initially you have some extra units, some extra other things that you get, and it unlocks some content. But opposed to Era of Chaos, I haven't seen that any of these purchases gatekeep me from any content. Because in Era of Chaos, you know, the problem is that you go, for example, to Duel of Champions here, and if you are at least in VIP 2 or VIP 3, I think, so spent at least $5 or $10 rather, then you can do this 6 times. If you haven't purchased anything, you can do this 3 times. This is a typical gatekeeping of features because your Duel of Champions determines your Battle of Gods status as well. Because the better your Duel of Champions rating, the better you can play Battle of the Gods. This type of gatekeeping, at least to the best of my awareness, is not there yet. Obviously, those who pay will get more stuff, especially these yellow hard drives and these other things, and the 5-star, what are the names? Red Shadow Prints, to star up the Animus units. So these help somewhat, but it's not something that I was missing, because progress is high enough. Believe me that a lot of people will spend, let's say, hundreds, and then they say, oh, I spend this, I spend that, I'm seeing that I'm so much ahead, I will slack off a bit, I won't do my arena missions every day, I won't do these, I won't spend 10 times of my energy every single day, even though I did it for the first 5 days, now I'm slacking off, and all of a sudden the free-to-play player will catch up. That's what I can see right now. You see, there are these value packs, all these other types of packs. They help, they are not bad. In fact, for the sake of supporting this game, I obviously recommend checking some of these out. Now, let's talk about predatory practices. So predatory practices in terms of if you want to compete, in that case, what happens? Energy. You see that energy is being refilled. I would love to see how much time it takes to refill the energy, because right now I'm not seeing it. I would assume it's 3 minutes, just like in Raid, because frankly the game copied Raid quite a lot. But I cannot be sure about it, because it can also happen that it's actually not 3 minutes, but 6 minutes. In fact, let me figure this out. So I'll go to Etheria restart, stability, refill minutes. It's too bad that I have to get it myself. So let's see. Etheria restart restart PT system in 3. No, that's something else. So even this is not that easy to understand, because I have to research it. Stamina recharge rates, 1 stamina point every 5 minutes. Fine. So I managed to get the information located, but you see I had to go to the internet for this. So it's not that ideal. And then let's calculate, because right now it's 127. I haven't seen the gatekeeping of all this, but let me show you a calculator. Just a simple calculator to see what is going on. So if it was 130 stamina multiplied by 5 minutes, then it's 650 minutes multiplied by or divided by 60. It's almost 11 hours, 10.83 hours. This is good. Already now, it's good enough. Why? Because you can get a good night's sleep without losing any stamina, if you take the game seriously. In Era of Chaos, the energy system, if you're a VIP, you have a monthly VIP card, it's like 250, 260. Other than that, it's 240. You can keep a full day, because the refill rate is 6 minutes, and by the way, it's written in here how many minutes are left. Etheria Restart is missing this at the moment, so I think it's gonna be there sooner or later, but the developers haven't figured, or the product team haven't figured this out. Now, this is good enough because you can get a good night's sleep and still compete on the cutting edge if there was any sort of a competition. That's a great thing to do. On the other hand, Raid Shadow Legends doesn't do this. In Raid, and this is where it becomes predatory, and this is one reason why I haven't spent a cent on Raid. Not as if they were missing my contribution, but I haven't spent a cent. Why? Because refill rate is 3 minutes per energy, and the maximum, the cap is 130. And if you calculate that, it's 6.5 hours. So you cannot even have a good night's sleep if you compete without losing energy. Obviously, people will lose the energy, not a problem. But in a free-to-play competition, you won't be able to do this. So this is the issue. And Etheria doesn't have this issue, so it's not that predatory. For this reason, I might contribute with some packs. But it's not necessary for me because usually even a free-to-play journey is an amazing journey. You have seen that in Era of Chaos as well. You have seen that in other places, where I've managed to prove that as free-to-play you can compete and you can set goals and you can even rise to the top. Rising to the top, that's the very last point that I wanted to cover. There is a very important thing coming. Esports. Now, I've been searching for gacha and esports for a while. This is one reason why I got involved in Era of Chaos as well a bit more deeply, even though I knew that it's not gonna be an esports type of competition like ever with that game. There, my Heroes of Might and Magic history was the more important that I was involved in that. But it is possible to play this professionally, these types of games. Because you collect a limited amount of experience with your account or accounts, even though you cannot have everything all at once. And you use that information, you use that strategy to solve certain puzzles that the esports team will give you once you fight. So let's say, for example, you have you get at certain initial conditions, certain resources, and there is luck involved, obviously, but besides the luck there is also skill, just like in poker. And you have, let's say, 1 day to prepare to make the maximum out of those resources, and then you go and fight out the battles in the arena. And the more experienced player will know what to do at what point in time, so they will win, others will lose. It is not gambling, because for the sake of gambling you need to pay an entry fee. And a free-to-play player here can compete just like a paid player. And I would love to see this type of esport appear more and more, because it's good not just for the game, but it's also for the communities. First of all, the player, how does the average player benefit from an esport competition? It's not just motivation, but it's also, it keeps the development team on their toes toes to make the product as balanced as possible and as enjoyable in the long run as possible. Otherwise, there are some games that are simply not meant for esports. Why? Because in Era of Chaos, for example, you know that you have certain units, you have 5 guilds. You know that, for example, Chaos beats everyone. You know that you have like 60 heroes. And you know that out of these, or how many heroes? I don't even know, a lot of heroes. But you also know that out of these 60, 70, whatever number of heroes, 71 at the moment here it's written, out of these 71 heroes, currently you can consider 4. And maybe Khalid the 5th one, and maybe Harek the 6th one. Korita, who knows. So, but the latest generation is just 4. You consider these 4 heroes, that's it. And then a 5th one is gonna be out. And once they are out, then come the other 5 heroes, and those 5 are gonna be even stronger than the current one. You always know which one hero to pay for, if you wanted to pay for it. I've never done that, but if you look at the Dragon League, right now it's not visible. Dragon Temple, maybe we can see that. Yeah, we can see that. Look at this. There have been 33 of these events. Out of these 33, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the last 7 months have been won by the same person. Before that, there was one case when someone else won. And then the same person, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And even before that, the same other person won. And then 14, 15. So out of the last 17, which is like almost 1.5 years, 2 people won. And one of them won 15 times, the other one won twice. You see? So it's a bit low in terms of fire rate. I'm quite certain that there are other players who are good enough as well. This is not esports, this is just who collected the most stuff in game. So, and the first place can be purchased up to a certain extent. Obviously you have to be really good, like top 0.1% to be there. But if you open the wallet more, your wallet more, then you will essentially buy first place out of those who are really good. And in an esports competition you won't be able to do that. This is why I'm really hopeful, because I know how far professional poker went, and I think we're still in the infancy phase of gacha gaming. Infancy phase in a sense that it has to be a bit more consolidated. We have certain laws, we have to be less predatory as well, evidently, because initially it was a lot more. But wait a minute, back in the days, Party Poker was the first ever site to provide online poker that was like popular enough, and it started as a snowball system or a Ponzi scheme, but they happened to survive, and after they survived they basically provided a service, and now they are regulated operators in 2024. Too bad that that operator is not good enough anymore to compete, because the state managed to tax the hell out of it. But you see that you cannot debate that poker competition is something that still exists, for example, in the United States, the World Series of Poker or EPT or all these like poker tours. This is what I would like to see in these types of games. And given that Etheria Restart is targeting exactly this, I will play. Now, how will I play? That's a good question, whether it's going to be a new channel or in this channel. I see that mixing this content with Heroes of Might and Magic types of games may be a long shot, so I might start a new channel about it. I haven't decided yet, we will figure it out sooner or later. Write it in the comments if you think that I missed anything else about this game. That's the honest review, unbiased review, not sponsored review. So this is just my opinion. And we'll see a bit more of this content sometime in the future.